I'm going outside the box here today. I wanted to talk about a little bit of a different topic, but it's one I've been thinking about for a while, and I've learned to appreciate it more and more. And that is the concept of turn off your brain games, or games you play to relax. I don't really have like a good, proper coined phrase for them. Maybe we can come up with one. I don't know. But these games, I think, are more and more valuable the more you think about them. And sometimes you don't even realize they're right in front of you. I've started thinking about this more and more because I've been playing the hell out of Chivalry 2, which is a little out of left field for me. I had to make a video on it for Game Ranks, for a Before You Buy video, for work, and I looked at it as maybe not really the type of game I'm usually into. I was like, a medieval game. Is it like Mordhau? Is this a really hardcore PC game I'm just not in the mood to get good at? But I found myself diving into it, having an absolute ton of fun, had a blast, finished the Game Ranks Before You Buy video, and then just kept playing it. There's a little bit of like a lull right now with some releases, or at least some mainstream ones that I'm covering either here or on Game Ranks. So every night after like a long day of work or anything like that, I just pop into Chivalry and I start swinging my sword around and killing dudes, because that's all the game really is. It's up to 64 players, complete madness, melee, first person, medieval battling, and there's not really any communication required. There's not really a lot of strategy. There is some skill, of course, but it's pretty easy to pick up and a little tricky to master. And it's just at that like perfect line, you know what I mean? Like where it's not super competitive, where I start getting like, I get like worked up and I'm like, come on. It's just below that where I can just have a good time, almost like casually playing something like Rocket League. It's just like you hop in, you do some rounds, you have some fun, level up a little bit, call it a day, and screw off. And for me, someone who really likes swords and murder, this is perfect. As someone who isn't super into competitive shooters as much as I used to be. This is a game that I've really enjoyed just jumping back to every night because there's no stakes, nothing really matters. I play around and then I go and move on to either playing something else or watching or hanging out, whatever. And design-wise, it is really encouraged in the fact that it is just chaos. And design-wise, it's also really encouraged in the fact that even if you're losing, you're still having fun. So you're never really getting worked up at the game. Even if you clash swords with a dude and then he chops your head off, it's fine because you had fun defending yourself. It feels fun to kind of like go down swinging like Boromir. It's just like, it really, really nails that feel. And you know, you level up a little bit whether you win or lose. The rounds are so long that you're going to forget a big L that you took earlier in the match. Nothing matters. It's literally you're just hopping in, causing violence with satisfying swordplay gameplay mechanics, and that's it. And you know, stressing out about things or dealing with things in real life, jumping into this random game that has no frills, no catch, has been really nice as kind of like a change up to what I usually enjoy playing, which is intense experiences where I want to get immersed and I want to experience a story or compelling gameplay and be lost in a world, like any of those crazy words. This is the complete opposite, and it works. Like, I actually started to kind of really actually realize what this type of game was, this turn off your brain style relax type of game, years ago, back when the early days of social media. Remember like Raptor? It was like you were able to log in with your Steam account or your PSN or Xbox account, and then it would post to all your social medias when you were playing a game. It was so half-baked. It doesn't exist anymore, obviously. But I had a friend, and every single night his thing would post, and it was like saying, I'm playing Call of Duty, I'm playing Call of Duty, I'm playing World of Warcraft. And I used to be a little bit more toxic, a little more judgy, and I used to always be like, dude, what are you doing? There's this other game that you love, or like, we're playing this over here. Like, why are you just always playing Call of Duty? Like, you play that a lot. What's the matter? And he said to me straight up, dude, after working 10 hours, the last thing I want to do is dive into a new JRPG and sit through a 3-hour tutorial and go through that. There's a time and place for that. And from then on, I was like, oh, yeah. There's different types of games for different types of situations. And, you know, that after work game sometimes isn't going to be an intense round of Civilization, or getting immersed in a horror game like Silent Hill, or getting your ass handed to you in a Dark Souls game. But I also think that's the magic of it, because there are some people where their relaxation game is something like Dark Souls. I really want to hear what yours are. I definitely have some more I want to share. The first one is, you probably know if you've been watching me for a long time, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. That is a game that I have on pretty much every device, every console. I actually just picked up the Switch version. The port's pretty good. The load times are a little long, which is annoying if you're like me and you like to refresh or restart around. But besides that, playing Tony Hawk Everywhere and just playing that gameplay loop, that gameplay feel, that's what I always kind of play to just chill out and relax. Go through a level I know like the back of my hand, do tricks I know, I'm in my comfort zone, there's no crazy surprises, there's nothing going on, I'm just playing, dude, and trying to get that score, not getting worked up, doesn't matter, that's life. My other one, because I'm giving you a top 3 here, it's Chivalry 2, it's Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, and last but not least, just swinging in a Spider-Man game. This is another one. If you've been watching me for a long time, you know I'm like a weird nerd about Spider-Man things. But most recently, Miles Morales and Spider-Man PS4, which looks really nice on PS5, I gotta say. Sorry, I hope I'm not rubbing it in if you don't have one. I have to like always put that as a disclaimer now. But I've always really enjoyed swinging in Spider-Man games, literally endlessly and doing nothing, which sounds really weird, but there are people out there like me that do stuff like that. There's a game that they play that they don't even do the objective, they just enjoy whatever it is. There are people who play Grand Theft Auto games and obey traffic. Mine is endlessly swinging through New York City as Spider-Man and kind of getting lost in that loop of thwip, momentum, release, thwip, momentum, swing. Thwip, like something about that is so relaxing and fun, and not even just with the new Spider-Man games. I've been doing that since Spider-Man 2, when that originally released on PlayStation 2 and GameCube and stuff like that. I've always been hooked on that feel. Actually, I did it with the original Spider-Man movie game on PlayStation 2, where the web swinging mechanics were bad. I still did it anyway. I loved it. But I digress. I do it with every Spider-Man game, even the bad ones. The Amazing Spider-Man games, I swung around those cities so long. I had that thing loaded on my console so I could always just fire it up and go for a quick swing, because after a day of work and there was no new game I wanted to start, or maybe I was stuck at a boss in another game and I just wanted to chill out, I would do that. I would go for a swing. And you know what? I'm thankful for that kind of weird alternative gaming time. So the point I'm just trying to make with this video here is simple. First of all, I'm just having a good time talking about this stuff. So if you appreciate that too, if you're new here, clicking the like button does help me. But what I really kind of just want to get across here is that gaming sometimes can really feel like a race, whether it's the grind, the competition, the just keeping up with new, always seeing a new experience. Gaming, if you're like a diehard fan, can become such a pursuit at times. But sometimes you have to do the video game equivalent of chilling out on the beach and hanging out, or sitting inside in the winter reading a book by the fire sipping some bourbon. Everybody has a different version of that. I know a lot of people who just grind out Destiny 2 quests while listening to a podcast just because it's a fun way to hang out and it relaxes them. Sometimes there are just those experiences, those loops, those mechanics, those whatever in games that you engage in. You turn off your brain, you don't really think so much, but it's really good to have. And me personally, like whether it's killing dudes in Chivalry or swinging around in Spider-Man or whatever, I'm grateful for those experiences and those good times because they're different than your regular daily gaming. Those are my examples though. Like I said, I really want to hear yours down in the comments. Everybody has a completely different turn off your brain type of game. So whether it is Call of Duty or World of Warcraft or whatever, I'm not going to shame you. We're not going to shame you here. We want to know what it is. Maybe it's a guilty pleasure game. Maybe you're turning in quests or you're grinding something out. Hell, maybe you're just downloading Pac-Man and playing that. Whatever your relaxation, turn off your brain, don't think, end of the workday type of game is, I want to hear it. Do you jive with this concept like me? I definitely also want to know, like, if you have your own top 3 relaxation games. Also, what do you call this type of game? Like, let's come up with a term. I don't know. Whoever comes up with the best one, maybe I'll mention you in another video. But let me know. I really want to talk because I think that'll be a fun conversation in the comments. So let's hang out. And like I said, liking this video helps me. If you like what I'm doing here, you can support the channel. You can click things down there. You can click subscribe and hit the notification bell because I only put out a video once or twice a week. I'm not going to spam you, but I'm Jake Baldino. Thank you guys for being here, listening to me ramble. Subscribe because video games. Pizza's on me.